Greetings, seekers of wisdom and truth. Today, we'll explore the profound depths of the Hermetic laws, ancient principles that have the power to fundamentally alter your perception of reality and your place within it. These laws, rooted in the wisdom of Hermes Trismegistus, offer a framework for understanding the universe and our role in it that is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. The Hermetic laws are not merely philosophical concepts to be intellectually understood. They are living principles that, when truly grasped and applied, can transform every aspect of your existence. They offer a key to unlocking the mysteries of the universe and your own consciousness. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most fundamental of these laws, the principle of mentalism. This principle states that the all is mind, the universe is mental. At first glance, this might seem abstract or even nonsensical. How can the entire universe be mental? Isn't the world around us physical, tangible, real? To understand this principle, we need to shift our perspective. Consider for a moment your experience of the world. Everything you perceive, the sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures, are ultimately processed and interpreted by your mind. Your consciousness is the canvas on which the entire tapestry of your reality is painted. But the principle of mentalism goes even deeper than this. It suggests that consciousness isn't just a product of the physical brain, but is the fundamental substance of the universe itself. In this view, physical reality is a manifestation or projection of a universal consciousness or mind. This idea aligns with some interpretations of quantum physics, which suggests that the act of observation plays a crucial role in determining reality at the subatomic level. It also resonates with ancient spiritual traditions that speak of the world as a divine dream or cosmic illusion. If we accept this principle, it has profound implications for how we view ourselves and our capabilities. If the universe is mental, and we are part of that universal mind, then our thoughts and consciousness have a direct impact on the reality we experience. This isn't just positive thinking, it's a recognition of our role as co-creators of our reality. Think about how this principle might apply to your life. How often have you found that your expectations shape your experiences? How many times has your mood or mental state colored your perception of events? The principle of mentalism suggests that this influence goes far deeper than we typically realize.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
This leads us to the practical application of this principle. If our minds shape our reality, then mastering our minds becomes the key to mastering our lives. This doesn't mean simply thinking positive thoughts and expecting the world to change. It means cultivating a deep understanding of our own mental processes, recognizing the patterns of thought that shape our perceptions, and learning to direct our consciousness with intention and purpose. Meditation, mindfulness practices, and self-reflection become powerful tools in this context. They allow us to observe our thoughts, to recognize the often unconscious beliefs and assumptions that shape our reality, and to begin consciously choosing the mental states we wish to embody. But let's be clear, this isn't about denying the existence of the physical world or the challenges we face in it. It's about recognizing that our experience of that world and our ability to navigate and influence it is fundamentally shaped by our consciousness. The second Hermetic law we'll explore is the principle of correspondence. This principle is often summed up in the phrase, "as above, so below, as below, so above." It suggests that there are patterns and principles that repeat themselves at all levels of existence, from the cosmic to the microscopic. This principle invites us to see the interconnectedness of all things. It suggests that by understanding one level of reality, we can gain insights into others. For example, the structure of an atom, with its nucleus and orbiting electrons, mirrors in some ways the structure of a solar system. The branching patterns we see in trees resemble the branching of our own blood vessels or river systems. But this principle goes beyond mere physical similarities. It suggests that the same fundamental laws govern all levels of existence. The principles that govern the movement of planets also govern the interactions of subatomic particles and the dynamics of human relationships. What does this mean for us in practical terms? It means that we can learn profound truths by paying attention to the world around us and within us. Nature becomes a textbook, every experience a potential lesson. The dynamics we observe in our personal relationships might offer insights into larger social or even cosmic processes. Conversely, understanding universal principles can help us navigate our personal lives more effectively. This principle also has implications for how we view our place in the cosmos. If the same patterns repeat at all levels, then we are not separate from the universe but an integral part of it. Our actions and thoughts ripple out, affecting the whole in ways we might not immediately perceive. The principle of correspondence invites us to expand our perspective. Instead of seeing ourselves as isolated individuals, we can recognize our role as microcosms of the universe itself. Our inner world corresponds to the outer world, and by harmonizing one, we affect the other. This brings us to the third Hermetic law, the principle of vibration. This principle states that everything is in motion, that nothing rests, and that everything vibrates. At first glance, this might seem obvious. We know that at the atomic level, everything is in constant motion, but this principle goes deeper. It suggests that the differences we perceive between various forms of matter and between matter and spirit are ultimately differences in vibration or frequency. Solid objects vibrate at a lower frequency, while more ethereal forms of energy vibrate at higher frequencies. This principle aligns with modern physics, which recognizes that all matter is essentially energy in various states of vibration. But it also has profound implications for our understanding of consciousness and our ability to affect change in our lives and the world around us. If everything is vibration, then our thoughts and emotions are also vibrations. They are energy patterns that interact with and influence the energy patterns around us. This isn't just metaphorical. Our mental and emotional states have measurable effects on our physical bodies and can even influence the people and environment around us. Understanding this principle allows us to become more conscious of the vibrational states we're emanating and attracting. It invites us to pay attention not just to our thoughts and actions, but to the quality of energy we're putting out into the world. This is where practices like meditation, energy work, and sound healing find their basis. By consciously altering our vibrational state through these practices, we can affect changes in our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. We can also learn to sense and interact with the more subtle energy vibrations around us, opening up new dimensions of experience and understanding. The principle of vibration also offers a different perspective on the nature of change. If everything is in constant motion, then change is not something that happens to us occasionally, but is the very nature of existence. Resistance to change becomes futile. Instead, we're invited to learn to flow with the ever-changing vibrational patterns of life. This principle challenges us to become more aware of the subtle energies within and around us. How often do you pay attention to the feel of a place or a person, beyond what you can perceive with your five senses? How attuned are you to the shifts in your own energy throughout the day? By developing this awareness, we can begin to consciously modulate our own vibration. We can learn to raise our frequency, aligning ourselves with higher states of consciousness and more positive experiences. We can also learn to lower our vibration when necessary, grounding ourselves and connecting more deeply with the physical world. This principle also offers a different perspective on the nature of reality itself. If everything is vibration, then the solid, fixed world we perceive is in some ways an illusion. Reality becomes more fluid, more responsive to our consciousness than we typically realize. The fourth Hermetic law we'll explore is the principle of polarity. This principle states that everything has its pair of opposites, that opposites are identical in nature but different in degree, and that extremes meet. This might sound paradoxical at first, but it offers profound insights into the nature of reality and our experience of it. Consider any pair of opposites, hot and cold, light and dark, love and hate. The principle of polarity suggests that these are not separate, opposing forces, but different expressions of the same thing. Cold is simply the absence of heat, darkness, the absence of light. Love and hate are intense expressions of emotional attachment, differing in direction but not in fundamental nature. This principle invites us to transcend the dualistic thinking that often limits our perception and causes conflict in our lives and in the world. Instead of seeing things in terms of absolute good or bad, right or wrong, we're encouraged to recognize the spectrum of experience that exists between these poles. Understanding this principle can have a profound impact on how we navigate challenges and conflicts. Instead of resisting or fighting against what we perceive as negative, we can recognize it as part of a larger whole. We can seek to understand its place in the spectrum and work to transmute it rather than eliminate it. For example, if we're experiencing fear, instead of trying to banish it completely, which often only intensifies it, we can recognize it as the polar opposite of courage. By gradually moving along the spectrum from fear towards courage, we transmute the energy rather than fighting against it. This principle also offers insights into the nature of personal growth and transformation. Often, the qualities we most admire are the polar opposites of our greatest weaknesses. By recognizing this, we can use our lenses as signposts, pointing us towards the qualities we need to develop. The principle of polarity reminds us that within every challenge lies an opportunity, within every weakness a potential strength. It encourages us to look for the hidden gifts in difficult situations and to recognize the potential for growth in our struggles. This principle also has implications for how we view others and the world around us. It suggests that the differences we perceive between ourselves and others, between different cultures or ideologies, are often differences of degree rather than fundamental nature. This understanding can foster greater empathy and unity, helping us to bridge divides and find common ground. In practical terms, applying this principle involves developing the ability to shift our perspective. Instead of getting stuck in one pole of experience, we learn to move consciously along the spectrum. This mental flexibility allows us to adapt more easily to changing circumstances and to find creative solutions to problems. For instance, if you find yourself in a situation that seems entirely negative, the principle of polarity would encourage you to look for its positive aspects, not in a naive, wishful thinking way, but with the understanding that the positive must exist as the polar opposite of the negative you're experiencing. This principle also offers a powerful tool for personal transformation. By consciously focusing on the opposite of an undesired quality or experience, we can begin to shift our vibration towards what we do want. If you're experiencing lack, focus on abundance. If you're feeling weakness, contemplate strength. This isn't about denying your current experience, but about recognizing the spectrum of possibility and consciously moving along it. The fifth Hermetic law is the principle of rhythm. This principle states that everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. This rhythm is evident in all of nature, in the cycles of day and night, the seasons, the ebb and flow of tides, the rhythms of our breath and heartbeat. Understanding this principle can help us navigate the ups and downs of life with greater ease and grace. It reminds us that no state, whether positive or negative, is permanent. Just as the pendulum swings in one direction, it must inevitably swing back. This understanding can be incredibly comforting during difficult times. When we're in a low point, we can remember that this too shall pass, that the upswing is coming. Conversely, during high points, this principle reminds us to stay grounded and not become too attached to our current state of success or happiness. But the principle of rhythm offers more than just philosophical comfort. It provides practical guidance for how to work with the natural rhythms of life rather than against them. Instead of resisting the down cycles, we can use them as opportunities for rest, reflection, and preparation for the next upswing. During up cycles, we can focus on making the most of our energy and opportunities, knowing that a period of rest will follow. This principle also invites us to become more aware of the various rhythms operating in our lives, daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. By aligning our actions with these natural rhythms, we can work more efficiently and effectively. For example, recognizing our personal daily energy rhythms can help us schedule our most important or challenging tasks for when we're naturally most alert and focused. The principle of rhythm also has implications for how we approach personal growth and change. Instead of expecting constant linear progress, we can recognize that growth often happens in cycles. There are periods of intense change and development followed by periods of integration and apparent stagnation. By understanding this, we can be more patient with ourselves and trust the process even when it seems we are not making progress. In relationships, recognizing the natural rhythms of closeness and distance, of giving and receiving, can help us navigate the ebb and flow of connection with greater ease. Instead of panicking when we feel distance creeping in, we can trust that closeness will return and use the time for self-reflection and personal growth. On a larger scale, the principle of rhythm can offer perspective on societal and historical trends. It suggests that periods of progress and regression, of peace and conflict, are part of a larger rhythm of human development. While this doesn't excuse harmful actions or attitudes, it can help us maintain hope and continue working towards positive change even in difficult times. How can you apply the principle of rhythm in your life? What rhythms do you notice operating in your personal experiences, your relationships, your work? How might consciously aligning with these rhythms change your approach to challenges and opportunities? As we reflect on these first 5 Hermetic laws, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, and rhythm, we begin to see a picture emerging of a universe that is far more dynamic, interconnected, and responsive to consciousness than we might have previously imagined. These principles invite us to expand our perception, to recognize the deeper patterns at play in our lives and in the world around us. But our exploration is not yet complete. There are 2 more Hermetic laws that will further deepen our understanding and provide even more powerful tools for navigating our existence. Are you ready to continue this journey of discovery? As we delve deeper into the Hermetic laws, we encounter the 6th principle, the principle of cause and effect. This law states that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Nothing happens by chance or outside the universal laws. This principle is perhaps one of the most widely recognized, often expressed in phrases like, "you reap what you sow," or karma. However, the Hermetic understanding of cause and effect goes beyond simple action and reaction. It recognizes that causes and effects exist on multiple planes: physical, mental, and spiritual. An action on one plane can have effects on another. A thought, mental plane, can lead to an action, physical plane, which in turn can affect our spiritual state. This principle invites us to take responsibility for our lives in a profound way. It suggests that the circumstances we find ourselves in are the results of causes we have set in motion, whether consciously or unconsciously. This isn't about blame or guilt, but about recognizing our power as creators of our reality. Understanding this principle can be incredibly empowering. It means that by consciously choosing our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can shape our future experiences. We're not victims of circumstance, but active participants in the creation of our reality. However, it's crucial to understand that the chain of cause and effect is complex and often beyond our immediate perception. The effects of our actions may not manifest immediately or in ways we expect. This is where trust in the universal laws comes into play. We set causes in motion through our choices and actions, and then we must trust the process, knowing that effects will manifest in due time. This principle also offers a different perspective on the challenges and difficulties we face. Instead of seeing them as punishments or random misfortunes, we can view them as effects of previous causes, opportunities for learning and growth. Every challenge becomes a chance to set new, more positive causes in motion. The principle of cause and effect also has implications for how we view others and the world around us. It encourages us to look beyond surface appearances to the underlying causes of behaviors and events. This can foster greater empathy and understanding, as we recognize that everyone is dealing with the effects of causes they've set in motion, often unconsciously. In practical terms, applying this principle involves becoming more conscious of the causes we're setting in motion in every moment. It's about recognizing that every thought, word, and action is a cause that will produce effects. This awareness can help us make more mindful choices, considering the potential long-term consequences of our actions. For example, when faced with a decision, we might ask ourselves, what effects might this choice produce? How might it impact my life and the lives of others in the future? This kind of foresight can lead to wiser, more considered actions. The principle of cause and effect also invites us to pay attention to the patterns in our lives. If we find ourselves repeatedly experiencing similar situations or challenges, it's a sign that we're consistently setting similar causes in motion. By identifying these patterns, we can begin to make different choices and create new causes that will lead to different effects. This principle also offers a powerful tool for personal transformation. If we want to change something in our lives, we need to identify and change the causes that are creating it. Want more abundance? Look at your thoughts, beliefs, and actions around money and wealth. Want better relationships? Examine how you treat others and yourself. It's important to note that while this principle empowers us to shape our reality, it doesn't mean we have complete control over every aspect of our lives. We're part of a complex web of cause and effect that includes the actions of others and larger universal forces. The key is to focus on what we can control, our own thoughts, choices, and actions, and to respond with wisdom and grace to the effects that manifest in our lives. The seventh and final Hermetic law we'll explore is the principle of gender. This principle states that gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. It's crucial to understand that this isn't about biological sex or gender identity as we typically think of them. Rather, it's about complementary energies or principles that exist in all things. The masculine principle is typically associated with qualities like assertiveness, action, logic, and giving. The feminine principle is associated with receptivity, nurturing, intuition, and receiving. These principles exist in all people, regardless of their biological sex or gender identity, and in all aspects of nature and the universe. Understanding this principle can help us recognize and balance these energies within ourselves and in our interactions with the world. In many spiritual traditions, achieving this balance is seen as key to spiritual growth and enlightenment. On a personal level, the principle of gender invites us to cultivate both our masculine and feminine qualities. It's about knowing when to act and when to be receptive, when to analyze logically and when to trust our intuition, when to assert ourselves and when to nurture. For example, in problem solving, we might use our masculine energy to analyze the situation logically and take decisive action. But we also need our feminine energy to be receptive to new ideas, to nurture the process, and to intuit solutions that might not be immediately obvious. In relationships, understanding this principle can help us create more harmony and balance. It's not about falling into stereotypical gender roles, but about recognizing and honoring both the masculine and feminine energies in ourselves and our partners. It's about knowing when to lead and when to support, when to speak and when to listen. On a larger scale, the principle of gender offers insights into the creative process of the universe itself. It suggests that all creation comes from the interaction of masculine and feminine principles, the active and the receptive, the giver and the receiver. This mirrors many creation myths that speak of the universe being born from the union of opposing forces. In practical terms, applying this principle involves becoming aware of these energies within ourselves and learning to balance them. It's about recognizing when we're over-relying on one energy and need to cultivate its complement. For instance, if you find yourself always pushing, always in action mode, it might be time to cultivate your feminine energy, to practice receptivity, to nurture yourself and others, to listen to your intuition. Conversely, if you tend to be overly passive or indecisive, you might need to cultivate your masculine energy, to take action, to assert yourself, to analyze situations logically. The principle of gender also has implications for how we view creativity and manifestation. It suggests that bringing anything into being, whether it's an idea, a project, or a change in our lives, requires both the masculine principle of action and the feminine principle of receptivity. We need to take action towards our goals, but also remain open and receptive to opportunities and insights that arise. As we reflect on these 7 Hermetic laws, mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender, we begin to see a comprehensive framework for understanding the universe and our place within it. These principles interweave and support each other, offering a holistic view of reality that can transform our perception and our lives. The Hermetic laws invite us to see beyond the surface appearance of things, to recognize the deeper patterns and principles at work in our lives and in the universe. They challenge us to take responsibility for our reality while also recognizing our interconnectedness with all things. These laws offer practical tools for personal growth and transformation. By understanding and applying these principles, we can become more conscious creators of our reality. We can learn to work with the universal laws rather than against them, aligning ourselves with the flow of life and accessing greater power and wisdom. But it's important to remember that understanding these laws intellectually is just the beginning. True wisdom comes from applying them in our daily lives, from experiencing their truth firsthand. This requires practice, patience, and a willingness to challenge our existing beliefs and perceptions. As you contemplate these Hermetic laws, consider how they might apply to your life. How might your experiences change if you truly embrace the idea that the universe is mental, that your thoughts and consciousness shape your reality? How might your approach to challenges shift if you recognize the principle of polarity at work, seeing every difficulty as containing the seed of its solution? What patterns of cause and effect can you identify in your life? How might you set new causes in motion to create the effects you desire? How can you better align yourself with the natural rhythms of your life and the universe? How can you balance the masculine and feminine energies within yourself and in your interactions with others? These laws offer a lifetime of exploration and discovery. They invite us to become conscious participants in the unfolding of reality, co-creators with the universe itself. They challenge us to expand our perception, to recognize the magic and mystery inherent in every moment of existence. As we conclude this exploration of the Hermetic laws, take a moment to reflect on how these principles resonate with you. What insights have you gained? What questions have arisen? How might your life change if you fully embraced and applied these laws? Remember, the journey of understanding and applying these principles is ongoing. Each day offers new opportunities to deepen your grasp of these universal laws, to align more fully with the flow of life. As you move forward, carry these principles with you. Let them inform your perceptions, guide your actions, and open you to the profound wisdom and power that lies within you and within all things. The Hermetic laws offer a key to unlocking the mysteries of existence. But like any key, its power lies not in merely possessing it, but in using it to open doors. As you leave this exploration, I encourage you to use this key. Open the doors of perception, step into a broader understanding of reality, and embrace your role as a conscious creator in this vast, interconnected, ever-unfolding universe.